Hello and welcome back to Really Good Beers, where we chat about and discuss all sorts of movies. My name is Gary O'Brien, and joining me as always for the monthly recaps, it's David Scanlon. And as we discuss the film releases of May 2024, so stick around, we hope you enjoy. Back again, David. May movie madness.
Yeah.
Here we go.
May movie madness. I wouldn't have said a May movie madness. It was
No,
May
it was a
movie-
mild May madness. No.
Weather was good.
What's it? May movie mildness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
Yep. We started up again.
Yeah, sure.
From the top.
Was it a good month? I think it was middle of the road.
Is a middling, mild
Yeah.
May movie.
Hold on, maybe I'm wrong. Do you know what? I will say I was probably fairly generous to a lot of the movies this month. Yeah, I was way too generous.
Yeah, but it was a fun. Look, it's that time of year now where they actually put like big blockbusters in the cinema,
Yeah.
so it's like you feel like you're watching something meant for the big screen.
Yeah.
Like a big strong Katie O'Brien. Eyes bleeding.
Worth leaving your house to go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like sitting like and see with the weather being kind of shit as well. You don't
I
feel
thought
that
the weather
bad.
was good.
Yeah, it's been me.
Was it?
Eh,
Okay.
I don't know.
There was a weekend there where I was like,
Yeah,
I
one
can't
weekend.
go to the cinema.
One weekend.
What date did Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes come out? I feel like that was the weekend.
It was the 9th of May.
Yeah, that was a good.
Feel like, yeah.
That was a good weekend.
For context, last year, what came out in May was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Are You There, God It's Me, Margaret, Bo is Afraid, Fast X, The Little Mermaid, and Sisu.
See, I think that's skewed slightly because we got to see
Guardians early.
and
Are You There, God, yeah. But also strikes and such like that, so.
Yeah. There's always
Yeah.
there's always something.
They're always fucking about in Hollywood.
Can't trust them.
Get your shit together, Hollywood.
God.
We've told them. We make the hard remarks on this podcast, David.
I think we might get cancelled for this.
David, if this is what we get cancelled for, that is hilarious.
They don't want people calling them out.
Yeah, I suppose they don't. No, but like
They want yes men, Gary.
We've
They want
said
yes men.
We're no men.
We're maybe men.
We're like, we'll see. Will there be free food?
Will there be free drink?
Yeah. Then
Will there be a party?
Will there be a party, David? Well, speaking of parties, David, we're having a party here doing a podcast for all the movies that came out in May. For anyone who doesn't know how this works, it's very self-explanatory. But we're going to be talking about these are the wrong notes. This is all wrong. We're going to talk about The Fall Guy. We're going to talk about Furiosa, Love Lies Bleeding, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. There's time codes if people want to jump around. We also do a segment called Tell You What I Saw the Other Day, where we tell you what we saw the other day on a streaming service. But I'm opening it up because I want to hear what people, because my watch list is getting grim in that there's nothing really on a streaming service. So I put it up on Instagram today because we're recording this on Monday, to see what other people were watching, but I did that about 2 hours ago, so I didn't really give people many chances to do that. So I'm going to say to people to hit us up in the Spotify Q&A and the YouTube comment sections and the email readingthepeers@gmail.com to let us know what they've watched this month, and then we know for the June podcast to give them a shout out.
And the idea here is that, someone watches a movie for the first time, something maybe that they should have seen a while ago, and we get a chance to kind of back and forth on it.
Yeah.
Stuff. And
I tell Dave he's wrong. But also it's a movie, even if it's a movie we've talked about in the podcast, because our thoughts might have changed by then.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, interesting.
Like maybe what's a movie that came out last year that we might have different opinions on now? Something like what's a weird one? Like I don't know.
I don't remember what came out this month. Never mind last year.
What about maybe our thoughts would change on air, David? Nope, still balls.
Still
But see, it's good to check in, David. Do you know what I mean? You gotta make sure. There's consistency. Consistency is key.
Yeah.
And we'll also be maybe men if there's free beverages and snacks.
Beverages, of course. You can't turn that down, Gary.
Never. I take this reviewing very seriously, David. And if I get a little bit of pizza, I might like the movie a little bit more.
Exactly.
No, I like to think no matter what you throw at me.
You've got integrity.
I've got integrity.
Yeah, you don't like cinema.
I don't like cinema, David. 3 things you know about me, David. I never eat food.
Yeah.
I don't like cinema. And the third one is not for air.
Yeah.
But shall we get started, David?
Let's
and
do it.
Talk about a movie called The Fall Guy.
The Fall Guy. So this is from director David Leitch, who people would know from the likes of Bullet Train, and he was a part of the stunt coordination team on John Wick and stuff like that. So
was he the one who was Keanu Reeves' stunt double? Or is that the other lad?
I think he was Keanu Reeves' stunt double on
The Matrix.
The Matrix.
Yeah, is that him? Because there's
it
2
is.
of them.
Yeah.
So it's him? Okay.
But the other guy is now the director on John Wick movies. Can't remember his name.
There's Chad Stahelski
Chad
and
Stahelski is the one on
David Leitch.
David Leitch, yeah. David Leitch on the Deadpool movies as well. Is that who he's friends with?
Oh, it's one of them.
I think David Leitch is something to do with Deadpool as well, because he's friends with Ryan Reynolds
and Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who did Deadpool too. And Hobbs and Shaw. Anyway, go ahead.
He did Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway,
a lot about this movie.
This is a story about a stuntman called Colt Seavers, who at the start of the movie has kind of a critical accident, and he's kind of out of the game. He decides, he doesn't want anything to do with Hollywood anymore. He's just packing cars for a living from now on. But he had a relationship with a director of photography at the time.
Assistant director kind of thing.
Yeah, played by Emily Blunt. Her name is
Jodie
Moreno. And she is directing her first feature film, and the producer of the film, played by Hannah Waddington, wants him to get on board with the film, to be the kind of stunt coordinator on the film. And so he has to fly all the way to Sydney. He gets his face scanned for CGI purposes. And he's in the movie. He decides he needs to kind of step up because of the ways things ended between him and Jodie. But in the process, there is some nefarious plot that he gets kind of thrown into. And that's pretty much it. What I would say about this movie is, okay, so fun time. I think it's very light.
Yeah. Just for context, it's written by the guy who did Iron Man 3. Because Drew Pearce.
Yeah.
And why I mention that is because it's very Shane Blackie-esque movie.
Yeah. It's very light, and it's very kind of Hollywood blockbustery. But what I would say the movie has going for it is that there is a message to it. There is they're highlighting a certain population or a certain part of Hollywood. Yeah, that doesn't necessarily get the recognition they deserve, and they managed to kind of loop that into the narrative and the plot throughout, which I think is a nice thing. I think there's times where I go into a movie, especially big blockbuster, I'm like, what is the point in this? Like, speaking of Air was just one of those ones where it was like, what is the point?
You know shoes, right?
Yeah.
We'll make a movie about shoes.
So at least it has kind of that going for it. Personally, I think I was very light on the movie in terms of my review. Like, I think I because of the way that element was brought into it, I think also Ryan Gosling's charisma and Emily Blunt's charisma kind of helped me along. That is why I kind of enjoyed it a bit more. But I can definitely understand some people who may not have had as good a time as I did.
Listeners at home, David's pointing towards me, Gary O'Brien.
The other thing I need to mention, and the main portion of the movie, is the action is very, very good. Mm-hmm. It is. Mm-hmm. And it highlights the stunt community, which I think is great.
Yeah.
And why did you not like it?
So I didn't like it because I went in a bit grumpy to the movie, so I don't think that helped. However, I am also notoriously not a fan of rom-coms, to which this is. This is like a big rom-com movie, effectively.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it depends on the chemistry between the two, and I completely get that. The chemistry of the two leads, Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling, very, very good. Similar to most of the rom-coms, where sometimes the narrative and the plot is very thin, but because the two sexy people are sexy good friends with each other, people just have a fun time.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of that. I think there was a mystery element to the movie that I was very intrigued with that just felt very, very flat and got far too cartoonish, because it was a nice sort of like movie set in Hollywood movie production, and I kind of liked some of the references, and I liked kind of some of the lingo that they kind of used, and then it got very, very silly, and characters start getting very wacky and very cheesy, and I get that that's a fun time, but I wasn't having it, and it gets very meta, and that's a fun time, but I wasn't having it, David. I also think there's just some people in it that I like the idea of them getting a big blockbuster, but they feel kind of wasted, like Hannah Waddingham. Like what? Waddington, sorry. Yeah. Isn't that Waddingham? I think it's Waddingham, David.
Oh, maybe it is Waddingham. Yeah, Waddingham.
Oh, wow. So I think, something like that. I think Winston Duke is very wasted. I think Stephanie Hsu, considering that she was nominated for an Oscar 2 years ago, I don't know if that's more of a reflection of the writing of her character or just the state of Hollywood in regards to like the availability of those roles. And I thought Taylor Johnson was a bit flat as well. But again, that's to do with the writing more than their acting, because they've been fantastic in other projects. I just would have liked them to shine a bit more in something that what you would have thought made a lot more money and had a lot more exposure, but this movie didn't make a lot of money.
Could it have been the fact that they went into the movie thinking, oh, we're gonna have the likes of Aaron Taylor Johnson more to the forefront, or Winston Duke more to the forefront, but they saw the chemistry between Gosling and Emily Blunt, so we need to kind of highlight that a bit more, because you can play off that.
That's true. But again, as someone who didn't like the rom-com elements of it, I was like, Jesus Christ, I was looking for something else in it. I also thought with Ryan Gosling himself, he just felt like a very watered down version of Ken.
He wasn't. He played more of himself than I think Ken.
Yeah, I don't know. Wasn't vibing with it. I think it's also because it came out too close after the Oscars as well, where he was kind of doing a lot of Ken shit too. But yeah, no, look, it's a very fun time. It's a nice popcorn movie, but I also felt like there was a lot of improv in it as well. So like they clearly had a lot of fun making it, but I wasn't having it.
You didn't enjoy that scene with the repetition, no?
What repetition?
Do you know the repetition? We're going to do that scene again. Do you know what? I thought you enjoyed that stuff. You enjoyed it in Babylon. Or what was the other? There was another movie.
Babylon,
there was another movie that did that as well. I can't remember.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I understand. I just look, it didn't, and even the meta stuff where they were like, oh, we got to rewrite the third act because of blah blah blah. I also feel like the movie ends and then there's another ending tacked onto it.
Yeah, that again could have been.
Again, it's just I think it was just the story of it fell apart for me. But I can't.
I agree with you there. The whole mystery bit was a bit kind of shoddy. A little bit all over the place, but again, I was kind of having too much fun to really care.
That's fair.
Yeah, so. But I think this is a perfect watch once it hits Netflix or something. Just
100%.
Flick it on.
Yeah.
You don't have to really think too much into it, and you just have a good time with it.
How long is it?
Ooh, 2 hour.
2 hour 5. Yeah. Oh, it's on. You can rent it from Amazon Prime for $4.99. Bargain.
But yeah, I feel like this is the type of thing that like anyone you could recommend it to anyone. Just like
yeah.
Except you, because you hate cinema.
David, I hate movies. It's an established fact.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Another movie set in Australia.
Yeah, speaking of, move on to the next one. Ready to move on? Yeah. Talk about Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. So this is a movie directed by George Miller, who people would know from Happy Feet 2, but also the Mad Max movies.
And Happy Feet 1.
And Happy Feet, yeah, but it's funnier. Everyone forgets that movie had a sequel, David. The feet were still happy. But yeah, so this movie is a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road, and an indescribed time after the Mad Max movies of the 70s, 80s and stuff. 80s, 70s? 70s, 80s maybe.
They wouldn't have got away with it in the 80s.
But yeah, so the story follows Furiosa, who is played by Anya Taylor-Joy and another actress whose name I will have here because I thought
Anya something.
It just feels like an anagram for Anya Taylor-Joy, doesn't it? What is her name? Alayla Brown, who's fantastic kid acting, by the way. Very, very good, because a lot of what she does sets up the rest of the movie. But yeah, the story follows her as she is kind of taken from her people due to a certain amount of circumstances, and all of a sudden she experiences, but she sort of crosses paths with this sort of self-appointed deity nearly of sorts of this sort of wasteland of apocalyptic Australia in the year 20, let's say, I don't know, but he said it was like, some reporter asked him when it was set, and he said 50 years from today, why not? So indescribable amount of time. But he's played by Chris Hemsworth, and he's a guy called Demented
2074,
and she crossed paths with him and has a sort of a run-in with him throughout a period of her life, and then all of a sudden she ends up in the sort of the clutches of what's his name, Morton Joe and his sort of tribe of War Boys. Yeah. So the story kind of follows her as she's trying to sort of get back to her people and escape these sort of crazy men who are after her effectively. And it has very similar sort of story beats to Mad Max Fury Road, and that big long car chase, smashy, vroom vroom. But I think what this movie does a lot better than Mad Max Fury Road is kind of have that sort of emotional element to it, of that sort of character development, because we see that she's taken from her family. It's not too much of a story. There's something bad happens to her mother and she's seeking revenge for it, and all the decisions she's kind of making throughout the movie are to sort of avenge her mother of sorts. So yeah, I think what the worst thing about this movie is that it's just not as good as Mad Max Fury Road. It's a really good movie. The action's fantastic. The acting is incredible. The action's fantastic. I'm gonna say it again. The action is fantastic. I love repetition, David. You know that about me, unless it's in The Fall Guy. But yeah, it's just not as crisp and as clean looking and as interesting sometimes as Mad Max Fury Road, and that's the only bad thing I have to say about it, besides some junky CGI and sort of zoom shots.
But this is the thing, and it's I've had this conversation with people that like Mad Max Fury Road feels like almost lightning in a bottle. Like I don't think we're ever going to go back to having such a big production in being made with such practical effects.
Yes.
And I can't really remember. I presume Mad Max Fury Road, it was well received, but it didn't do that well at the box office. I feel like if it had done like well straight off the bat, it would have just got a sequel and another sequel. Like the fact that it's been whatever 10 years, I think, since the previous one, or 9 years, it kind of makes me think that it maybe didn't do as well as it should have.
So I'm going to make a sweeping statement in that I feel like it didn't make a lot. What was the opening weekend? The opening weekend was 45 million, which is pretty good, more than this movie. But I feel like it trickled along, like it was just always doing well week to week. But also there was some weird stuff on set. Last time with Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron and George Miller, which I think is why they made a prequel. And
there's actually George Miller had sued Warner Brothers for money or something like that.
Yeah, they said they had. So they said to Warner Brothers, we actually made this under budget, so we get to have a bonus. And then Warner Brothers was like, yeah, but no, you did spend that money, so we're actually going to sue you, or something mad like that, something Mad Max like that.
But yeah, like you highlight the biggest issue is that it's a prequel to Mad Max, and it just doesn't look as good. But again, I think that is an issue at Hollywood that I think CGI has become so, what would you say, strong? I wouldn't say strong. It's a cheaper method of doing things. Convenient, there you go. That, I don't think they're ever going to make a movie like Mad Max Fury Road again. But as you say, it's probably it would be a great Mad Max sequel if it just had it come out before Fury Road. I really enjoyed Chris Hemsworth's performance. I was worried about him going in, that he would just be doing kind of a Thor / a Morton Joe kind of same thing, and he at the start of the movie he kind of feels like that, but then he changes his vibe. So he's pretty good. The other thing I would say is I feel like they should have diverged Furiosa's character more further from Mad Max. I feel like she just feels like a derivative of Mad Max in that she's the silent type, silent action hero. I feel like if they had have given her, I don't know, I just think they should have differentiated her slightly from what Mad Max is. It just feels like Mad Max, but Furiosa.
I agree somewhat, but Mad Max in the original, I've only watched the first two movies with Mel Gibson, but he's always the one doing things.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel what's different about Furiosa's character
is she's caught up in things.
Yeah, things are happening to her. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? She's trying to survive. Now, obviously, that's different for Fury Road.
Yeah.
But I just feel like she's just someone who's trying to survive, and I feel like that's what kind of makes it a bit different, because I think she shows her more sort of innovative. Yeah, Gary, if you could just edit that in post later and put the right word in, thank you very much. But no, ingenuity, yeah, let's say that. And then like, because she's always finding different ways to sort of stay alive and stuff like that and survive. And I like that element of her character, because we don't really see that in Fury Road. Now, again, you could argue that she's kind of at the top of the food chain nearly in a way in Mad Max Fury Road, so she doesn't have to, but it's a nice little layer that doesn't ultimately take away from her character in Fury Road. Now, don't get me wrong, it's been years since I've seen Fury Road, so I think I would like this movie less if I'd watched Fury Road just before it, but I'm going to imagine it was just as fun.
Yeah, I did like the fact that this kind of expands the world a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I can't really remember. They obviously didn't go to Bullet Farm in.
No, they just
Fury
went to
Road.
Gastown.
Just went to Gastown. Okay, because that was the thing I was wondering. I couldn't really remember that. But I really enjoyed that kind of element to it, seeing more of Morton Joe and his crew, seeing the fact that you have kind of Dementis and his kind of gang.
Big sort of, like posse.
And you also get this more of an idea. Like in Fury Road, I think you get kind of a glimpse of what the War Boys are kind of about with Morton Joe. But I think in this one, it seems a little bit more obvious that he's like, I'm literally like a deity here. Yeah. They'll do anything for me. So that was kind of cool. I think just overall sense, I think it's an enjoyable time. The biggest issue is that it's kind of related to something that was almost perfect. And I think story wise, I think this is better, but you're always really going to enjoy the visuals aspect of and the action aspect of Fury Road. I think that's always going to kind of grab you more than this movie, more than the story elements of this movie.
Yeah, and I think, but even still, like, there's some nice bits in this with, like, even, like, parachutes. I won't give it away.
Yeah.
Cool. Fucking badass. Big fan of that.
I do like the fact that they did change it up slightly from what appeared in Fury Road and stuff.
Yeah. And the world building, I just want to double down on that point, because I just love this world, and I love that it's not really even defined what exactly happened and what time period it is. But I just really like seeing more of the world, and it's a bit hampered by the fact that it has to lead into Fury Road. So they can't do anything too crazy with it. But no, so I really like that element of it. And also, as well, another big props I give the movie from a script perspective is, like I said, the pacing I think is really, really well done. But also in that, like, Furiosa herself is obviously quite protected because you know she survives, but the stakes around her are always heightened in that there's always danger with other elements of what she's involved in. That this sounds so vague, but I don't want to give anything away. But just like that's what I really enjoyed about it, because you were on the edge of your seat, even though you weren't like, well, she's not going to die.
Yeah, they also bring in an element that I think added to it as well. Just kind of following on from that there is risk averse element to Furiosa's character.
Oh yeah.
You know something has to happen, but you don't know when it's gonna happen. The other thing is, I just mentioned on the runtime, it is a long movie, but I never felt like I was bored, and I never felt like I had to like look at my watch to see like, oh, when is this over? I was actually kind of, because it's cut up into certain kind of segments, chapters and stuff. It gives the film almost a mini series kind of vibe to it, which I felt kind of helped me along the way. I was like, oh, this is enjoyable. You're kind of getting chunks out of her life and stuff, and there's almost a beginning, middle, and end to each piece.
Tom Burke is in this as well. Just want to speak about some more of the actors in it. So obviously Anya Taylor-Joy is very good, even though she has 40 lines. Chris Hemsworth, as you mentioned, it kind of gets lost in the character, which is nice to see. I saw, I don't know if it was a TikTok or a tweet or something like that, about how all the original MCU characters go on to be good villains. So whether it be Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer or Chris Evans in Ghosted. Chris Evans,
the bad guy.
He's not the bad guy. It's just a bad movie.
What was that movie again? The
Knives
Netflix?
Out.
No.
Oh, but also The Grey Man.
The Grey Man. Yeah. Sorry.
God.
He's in Knives Out, a much better movie.
Yeah, but no, Tom Burke I thought was very, very good in this. He plays Praetorian Jack.
He is a bit of a Mad Max derivative. We need a Mad Max character.
Yeah, you need a guy in a leather jacket.
Yeah.
People won't understand what's going on. But he's very good, and his interactions with Anya Taylor-Joy's character also. Layla Brown, I just want to say it again, because she does so much to set up this movie. Not only by the fact that she looks weirdly like Anya Taylor-Joy, but also, obviously, there's a lot of trauma in the first 20 minutes of the movie, and she sells it so well that performance sort of transcends the whole movie throughout the movie, in the sense that you're always kind of cutting back to her acting and how she dealt with those sort of events that occurred. So I think she deserves. What else is she in?
Don't know she's in.
She's in 3,000 Years of Longing. She's in Sonic 3, David.
Oh wow, there you go.
And then everyone else in it, I don't really have anything else. There's a guy called George Shevstov who plays the history man, who I thought was quite good.
So Josh Hellman, I don't know if you know who he is. He's in the Mad Max Fury Road, but I think he plays one of the War Boys. You know Nicholas Holt's friend, War Boy?
Yes, he plays Silt. Or Slit, sorry, that's more about.
But he plays Morton Joe's son in this.
Yeah. Did you think he looked like Beavis or like one of either Beavis or Butthead from the SNL sketch?
Yeah.
Couldn't shake that for the whole movie.
I'm just wondering, does that mean that son of a Morton Joe becomes a War Boy?
Doubt it. I think he's just Australian. He was nearby in the cast of the movie.
Because he plays Stryker in X-Men. That's where I recognise him from.
But also, I actually just want to talk about it very quickly as well. The score.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very good.
This is the guy he's done a load of good movies. He's done Mad Max Fury Road, Deadpool, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Justice League, Godzilla X Kong, Sonic the Hedgehog, Alita, 2000 Years of Longing, Army of the Dead, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Tomb Raider, Terminator Dark Fate. Done a load of movies. Did Rebel Moon, David.
His name?
His name is Tom Hulkenborg.
Okay.
There you go. Oh, he's Junkie XL.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Just Letterboxd has a more official name. Yeah. He's good.
Good
Big
guy.
fan of him.
Yeah.
But so that's Furiosa. Anything else?
No, worth to watch. Again.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely worth to watch, I think.
Yeah.
And I think because it's maybe not as, like I said, crisp as Mad Max Fury Road, I think you can get away with watching it at home and don't feel like you feel bad for missing it. No, don't feel bad about missing it in cinemas, but obviously check it out in cinemas if you can.
Yeah, I would say out of all the movies we're talking about this month, this is one to watch in cinema.
Yeah, I agree. Good. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I agree. No, but the other segment I was talking about was one we called Tell You What I Saw the Other Day. So like I said, I'll check the Instagram in case anything's
Have I seen these? Do you know if I've seen them?
You've definitely seen two of them. Okay. The other one you haven't seen. But yeah. Do you want to do one of yours, one of mine, one of the three people who've messaged
I'd say start with this one.
Start with this?
Yeah.
Okay, well we've got one here that we've both seen and we're a big fan of and recently came to Netflix. Lily messaged in about Brian and Charles.
Oh my god.
What a movie, huh?
Incredible. We've talked about this before.
That's amazing.
But like this is people's opportunity to watch that movie. I don't. Is it just us? I feel like it might be just us, but it is incredible.
David, we're the best, though. No, we know movies better than anyone else. I dare anyone else to find anyone who knows more about movies than I do.
Okay.
Nope, no one showed up.
Okay.
I must be the best.
Very cute, very sweet. It would be like the perfect watch for a family or a date night. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, just that kind of vibe.
Fun. It's just fun, wholesome fun.
Yeah. I do think it's kind of. I think
Charles Bradrescu,
I
David.
definitely think it's just our vibe, though. That could be.
Yeah, could be. But I definitely think it's worth a watch.
Two best mates.
Two best mates, and you're a robot.
Yeah, I am a robot.
I made you with a washing machine for a dummy.
And I always want to go to Hawaii.
You want to go holla loop loop, David?
Exactly.
But no, that's a great.
I
movie.
might give that a rewatch. Fuck.
Has Kira seen it?
I don't think so. No.
There you go. There's your chance.
Yeah.
Very
sweet.
Very sweet. Big fan of it. Another one I watched recently called A Time to Kill, not A View to a Kill. God, I'd love A View to a Kill. I was in a pub yesterday, David, and they were playing Diamonds Are Forever. I was not talking to the person I was with. I was just like, and this is the bit where he stabs Blofeld with this.
Good. Did that help? Was that a helpful statement?
No, I don't know, David. I was having a fun time, and then the TV turned off, and then we left.
Sorry, this is on TV.
This is on TV in a pub.
Fuck, sorry, I thought you were playing the song Diamonds.
No. I was in a pub, and then they had the guy on. This is not important. And then Diamonds Are Forever on, and I was like, and this is the bit where they fish the lady out of the fucking canals in Amsterdam. And then the TV turned off, and then we left. Anyway,
cool.
But no, A Time to Kill.
Yeah. Matthew McConaughey.
Very good movie. This was recommended to me, and I had a great time with it. Very sweaty movie.
Yeah.
But it's
South.
The South. It's all about a sort of this man who kills two men. Is that a spoiler?
Yeah. No, this is the start of the movie.
Yeah, start of the movie. Who kills two men who raped his daughter. And it's all about then trying to decide whether or not that was the right thing to do or not. And then how the odds are all stacked against him. And they've got these fancy lawyers in to try and punish this black man. But Matthew McConaughey ain't having any of it, regardless of how it's affecting him and his family. Yeah. But maybe he cheats on his wife. Who knows? Who's the real bad guy here? I think him. But no,
he doesn't actually. Does he? That's a spoiler.
Okay. Oh, well, okay, fine. But what I was going to say...
Sam Jackson plays the defendant.
Yeah.
Yeah, defendant.
Yeah. Unbelievably stacked cast. When I was watching this, it was like...
Is Kevin Spacey in this?
He is in this, and he's playing a scumbag, David. Almost too well, David.
Yeah.
But no, like I was watching this and I was just like, he's in it. So we got Matthew McConaughey, we got Sandra Bullock, Samuel L. Jackson, Kevin Spacey, Ashley Judd, Donald Sutherland, Keith Sutherland, Oliver Platt, Brenda Fricker, David Irish Own. Who else we got here? We got Chris Cooper's in it. That was the one for me. Yeah. And it's directed by Batman Forever director Joel Schumacher as well.
I think it might be one of his better movies.
I think it's his best movie, David, besides Batman Forever. And you'd probably say Falling Down.
Falling Down is good.
Also, there's Veronica Guerin as well.
No.
It's not good, but it's set down, David. But yeah, no, really fun time. It is on the long side, but it's because it's a courtroom drama. It kind of has a bit of a structure to it that kind of keeps you engaged, and there's enough. What my view of it was basically like it's a very tense courtroom drama, but like the KKK are causing stirring shit as well. Yeah. So there's no respite.
There's also a sniper somewhere.
Oh yeah, no rest. But yeah, what about you?
I have just watched a movie. I watched a movie that has just been added to Netflix, and it's a movie I've been looking forward to watching for a while. It is called Nocturnal Animals. It is a film directed by Tom Ford. It is about a writer who sends his ex-wife a draft of his first novel, which is actually indirectly about their life when they're married. Mm-hmm. Jake Gyllenhaal plays the writer character, the husband, or the ex-husband, while Amy Adams plays the ex-wife.
Yeah, I've just seen your review on Letterboxd. Big fan. Big fan right here. Giving that a big like, David.
Yeah, you're welcome. It is incredibly dark. Not just philosophically, but visually. But it does this really cool thing of like she's reading the book and it flashes kind of into the book almost. Yeah. You're kind of seeing the visuals of what's going on in the book, of what's happening. Kind of horrific enough what goes on, but it's just my type of thing. It's almost a crime thriller, but it's also saying something about their relationship as well, and it's also playing on the whole thing of like class in our society and stuff like that. It's there's so many layers to it.
Yes, a lot of layers.
A lot of layers.
Confusing about the layers, someone say. The movie ends and you're like, I don't know if that's really good or really doesn't make sense.
But the main thing for me, I think, is just visually wise.
Yeah.
There's so many ways you could have kind of framed the movie or kind of I don't know what to have a certain color palette to it or whatever you want to call it. But
there's some
Tom
official
Ford
terms,
exactly.
but no one would know it because if we don't know it, we know the more about movies, David.
But like, I just feel Tom Ford just. He had this stark contrast between what was happening in the book and what kind of visuals are in her real world or her real life, and it just kind of attracted my eye and stuff like that. But
of course you would. You're a big fan of Gucci.
Exactly.
So if anyone doesn't know, Tom Ford is known for being a fashion designer, and then he directed a movie.
Yeah.
I also find it crazy that a character from the House of Gucci made this movie.
Exactly. Yeah. No,
it makes sense. He knows what looks good.
Yeah, exactly. And just a solid movie. I think I would put it on the kind of vibe of Gone Girl. Probably not as good as Gone Girl, but definitely that kind of vibe, that look.
Stacked cast. Amy Adams. It took me a while to realise that was Isla Fisher.
Yeah.
We got Jakey G. Love Jakey G. Michael Shannon, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Isla Fisher, Armie Hammer.
Michael Sheen.
Fuck, I forgot Michael Sheen's as well. Andrea Riseborough. Jenna Malone.
Yeah.
What a cast. Definitely went to... I'm 90% sure she got nominated. Amy Adams got nominated for an Oscar for this.
I don't think so. It wasn't on any of your lists. Ooh. I think it was on your screenplay list, maybe? Or was that something else?
No, she got nominated, but I don't think she won.
Sorry, yeah.
Because she's never won an Oscar, David.
Yeah.
It's almost hilarious. She's the Spurs of actors, David.
What else? Yeah, I just think it says so much about...
Oh no, she didn't get nominated. It was only Michael Shannon.
It was only Michael Shannon. He's great.
He's very good.
Yeah. Aaron Taylor-Johnson as well.
Yeah.
Such a good villain. I don't...
Yeah, but it would compare him to the Fall Guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Bad.
That's fair. But definitely worth to watch. It's on Netflix now, so if people have a chance, it's 2 hours, but it flies along, and it's intriguing in the sense that it'll keep you kind of hooked.
Now this one we haven't seen, David, and it's got mixed reviews and we don't really know much about it, but our friends at Mondo Street sent it in and said The First Omen. Now I've not seen the original Omen.
No, neither have I.
But this is a prequel to it, and it's actually the 6th in the Omen franchise. But I'm looking at it here in the sense like it has 81% in Rotten Tomatoes, which is kind of high for a a horror movie.
Yeah.
Especially like a sort of a prequel kind of horror movie and stuff like that. But as far as I'm aware, it's got a pretty good cast. It did decent at the box office as far as I'm aware. I will watch it, but I probably will have to check out The Omen first.
The Omen, the original Omen, is on Disney Plus as well. I think they must have rights. Yeah, they must have rights.
Okay, well then I probably should watch that then. But I'm looking at the cast here, David. There's no one who's jumping out at me here besides our good friend Charles Dance. He's dancing out of this cast, as is Bill Nighy. There's some old British men in it, David.
Is it set in... It must be set in...
It's when a young American woman is sent to Rome to begin a life of service to the church, she encounters a darkness that causes her to question her own faith and uncover terrifying conspiracy that hopes to bring about the birth of evil incarnate. That sounds spooky. That's a spooky movie, David.
It is Mondays, Gary.
Spooky Mondays, yeah. And it's directed by a woman by the name of Arkasha Stevenson, who has not done anything else I know.
Interesting.
But yeah, I'll add it to the list.
Cool.
So yeah. Do you have... I don't have any other real movies. This is why I'm kind of starting to ask other people.
Is there anything else I really want to talk about that's still on a streaming service? No.
Another reason why we brought it up.
I don't think so.
No?
I watched LA Confidential again.
That's a good movie.
It's confusing.
Bit confusing. Lot going on. Also, Kevin Spacey.
Wait, was that the second movie we brought up about Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
What we're saying is go check out Kevin Spacey's filmography. Kim Basinger, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe.
At his fittest,
yeah. Who else is great in that? Oh, who's the guy? The old man.
Guy Pearce and
what's his name?
James Cromwell.
Yeah.
He plays a good villain.
Not the bad Cromwell.
No,
but he's very good in it.
He is.
Really good like LA Noir.
Yeah. I would love to see more of these types of movies.
Yeah, well, they won't make them because The Nice Guys didn't do well.
Yeah,
and that was the last of that genre.
Yeah.
They were like,
we're never doing cops in LA again.
Russell Crowe. If anyone wants to know why me and David are doing this voice, we're a bit unhinged. It's just a bit of that, but that's that's a good one. It's a bit long, if I recall, as well.
Yeah, it is 2:20.
2:20. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have one more here from our friend
go
from
for
the podcast, who's recommended Top Gun Maverick,
Yeah.
Now, this is a good, interesting one because I meant to actually apply to Owen, but I've been very busy today. I know if you're listening, I'll get back to you shortly. And hopefully I've gotten back to you by the time this podcast comes out, which is like, I'm interested to know how that got on watching it at home. Also, he said it was better than the first. No shit, the first one's balls. And it's, what you call it?
Is fine.
It's balls, David. It's no good, it's balls. And, what you call it? I know more about movies than anyone else, trust me. I've decided,
Hold on.
Wait. If there was a knock at the door there, I'd love that. Tom Cruise! But what I was going to say. Top Gun Maverick, man. What I've noticed, and we could talk a bit about this, I suppose, in the June releases as well, but like every summer's had a big movie. Like Top Gun Maverick 2 years ago was the big summer blockbuster. Last year there was Barbie and Oppenheimer. This year there's not looking like there's going to be anything massive besides Deadpool, but other than that, like... We'll have to see. But man, Top Gun Maverick. I just remember everyone losing their shit of like creaming their jeans, David, for some aviation action.
It was one of those ones that broke the mold of like into the everyday public kind of eye. Yeah. Like everyone was talking about it. Mm-hmm. And I think like even big Hollywood insiders had kind of said that was the one that kind of saved Hollywood.
Spielberg, wasn't it?
Yeah. And got people back into the cinema after kind of COVID stuff. So fair. Like I watched it again recently back in maybe March time. Very fun time.
Yeah.
It's very hard not to enjoy.
Yeah.
The dynamic between the kind of fighter pilots and stuff, and having Tom Cruise charisma, is always going to be great there. And
bit of Miles Teller shirtless on the beach playing a bit of frisbee or whatever the fuck they were doing.
What's your man's name again?
Glenn Powell, who's everywhere.
Yeah,
he's one of those people, David. He's on my list. I'm getting perturbed.
What about you looking forward to Twisters? That could be something.
Twisters. Oh, David.
He's in Twisters.
David, I love an ice cream on a hot day. But he's getting on my tits, David. He's everywhere. I think he's a fine actor. Hitman could be a different story.
Oh, actually, I'm looking forward to that.
No, I thought it was coming out last month. It was only coming out in like a film circuit thing, but it's actually meant to be coming out on Netflix in 4 days' time.
Yeah,
crazy. 3 days in this podcast.
And then I think story-wise, it's weak enough on the character end, but in an overall sense, ticking time bomb, action elements,
cinematography,
incredible. Yeah,
Tom Cruise wants to kill himself.
Yeah, and rightly so. For our enjoyment, Gary.
Yeah. He's the only one who knows more about movies than I do, David. He must perish.
He was at the door.
Haha. Anyway. Is that everything we saw the other day?
That is it all. Actually, sorry, I watched The Martian because I read the book. I'm just bragging.
I read the book.
I'm just bragging.
What streaming service is that on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay. Yeah. Very good movie.
It is very good.
He grows potatoes from poo, David.
Yeah.
They're potatoes.
Potatoes. There's a bit in the book they don't add into the movie. Rightly so.
Fair. Right, David. Shall we talk about more movies?
Oh, let's.
I think we're talking about movies, right?
Is this movies?
I think we're talking movies. There's a movie called Love Lies Bleeding, David. What's that about?
Oh, okay. Just give me a second here. Sorry, I wasn't ready for that. Okay, so we have. Do we know what town it is? It's the South.
David, it's every town. It's every local town in America.
So we're in it.
Well, you couldn't even indulge me.
We're in a rural town in America. Let's just assume it's the South. And Kristen Stewart plays Lou, who runs the local gym. And Katie O'Brien.
Not
related to Gary, of course. Katie O'Brien's Jackie.
She wishes.
Who is on her way to Vegas to a bodybuilding competition. Decides to stop by. And she's looking for work. She works out in the gym, stuff like that. And they kick it off between each other.
Yeah, they do.
Unfortunately, though, Lou's father, played by
Ed Harris,
is a nefarious individual.
He's got a dodgy vibe to him, David. Much like Vecna in Stranger Things.
Dodgy dealings. And it turns out that Katie O'Brien's Jackie is working for him not in a literal sense, but more kind of a business sense. But like she's not doing her dealings.
Yeah, she's not involved in the extracurricular activities of his business.
Yeah. But what happens is Lou and her father don't have a very good relationship, but when certain things happen, her Ed Harris character uses Jackie to get at Lou almost. But then there's also there's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's
there's an accidental killing between.
An instant occurs, but they kind of have to go on
occurs.
the run at some point as
Yeah.
well, where things get knocked up a new level.
Yeah.
And in sort of Lou's efforts to cover the trail, she kind of crosses her father.
Yeah.
And he's sort of looking to take sort of revenge and action on that,
Yeah.
like you say, by sort of manipulating her relationship with Jackie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an intertwining between a number of characters in this, but I think it's done in a really good way. I think it uses the idea of addiction, or what was the word, vices, in terms of like, you know, every character seems to have their own kind of vice and how it's kind of controlling them. In its use, you know, in relative comedic ways, when it's affecting Lou, but then when it affects Jackie, it's not only affecting her in a story sense, but it affecting her actually physically, and how she acts in the movie, which I thought was incredible. I thought the relationship between Kirsten Stewart and Katie O'Brien was very, very good. I think Katie O'Brien literally looks like a mountain of an individual in this, and fair play to her for really bulking up for this. And I
think she used to do bodybuilding back in the day as well.
I would like to see her in other roles, whether it be superhero or actually more kind of physical roles, because I feel like she got to use her physicality in a more kind of standing set, or
I have a
less of a dynamic
remind
sense.
me at the end, but I have the perfect role for her.
Okay.
For Gary.
Yeah.
It's a Gary bias, but continue.
Yeah, I feel like she able to use her physicality in a static sense, but not in really in dynamic sense. I would have liked to have seen her more, let's say, in an action role where she could actually use her whole physicality,
as opposed to in what you call it, Andor. Is it Andor she's in?
Yeah,
she's just standing
in a suit.
still.
Yeah, she's just in a suit.
Yeah.
She's an office worker pretty much. But it's one of these kind of smaller movies. It's probably made for a couple of million. I'm going to say less than 10 million, probably even less than 5. But a solid watch, definitely worth if you like those kind of crime thrillers. There's a lot going on. It'll keep you enthralled and intrigued till the end. You'll want to see what happens. There's a bit that turns at the end, which I didn't really like. It turns a little bit literal, but literal,
okay,
which I thought was a bit kind of,
is that more
unnecessary.
metaphorical?
Oh yeah, but like, why would?
Yeah,
it should have been more dreamlike. Let's say.
Okay, that's fine.
If you want to cut that bit, but solid watch for me. I really
2.5 million was the budget.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Yeah. I would say a lot of that would go to the actors. They probably
to catering.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, for Katie O'Brien.
Yeah,
munching down on
protein,
eggs and broccoli.
Yeah. Get her some chicken breasts.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with all that. I guess for me, it just didn't hit because because there is, like you say, that sort of nefarious side hustle or activities from Ed Harris' character that's really interesting, and Dave Franco's in it as well, and there's something going on with his character, and you're kind of like, there's a lot of interesting things on the sort of the outskirts of it that I feel like would make it nearly get very good. Think kind of sort of Fargo series that has that sort of vibe to it when they're in this sort of small town, and there was sort of elements that I was kind of hoping would get explored, but they're all kind of like sped through, I guess. So I think that's what kind of maybe just diverted the attention of my expectations, I think, which is kind of took me out of it a bit. But that's not to say it's not a good movie in that regard, in the sense of, like, I think visually as well, sort of so atmospheric, and sort of the mood and the vibe of it.
Drive vibes,
David.
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart, she's just killing it,
really
roll to roll these days. Katie O'Brien, I hope she gets a million things from this. I'll still look back to the thing I want to talk to about her in the end. Jenna Malone as well, also very, very good in a small role. But Rose Glass, I think it's her first big movie.
Yeah. What was the other one? She did Saint Maud, I think.
Saint Maud
is on Disney Plus, I think.
Oh, there you go.
So worth a look if you enjoyed this one.
But yeah, I don't know how much money this made, but it definitely got a lot of recognition.
Yeah.
So hopefully when it comes to, like, I could see it get nominated for a fucking like Golden Globe or something, like, where the categories are a bit more spread out. That this sort of the awards can go around a bit more. But yeah, no, I think it really sort of it feels like a fair. It feels bad to say, but it feels like a very good jumping off movie for a lot of these people.
Yeah.
Not Ed Harris. He's done it all, baby. But on a Katie O'Brien side of things, and to reference the fact that I was watching a James Bond movie the other day, I'd love to see it, and I don't want to see it as like a James Bond villain. Sorry, henchman. I want to see it as like a James Bond villain in that Amazon Prime show that I've been pitching for years with Anna de Armas and Lashana Lynch as the Felix Leiter and the James Bond duo, and she's the bad guy, and I think that would be class.
Okay.
Now I understand all female things.
Is she a Blofeld, or is she like?
She's not a Blofeld, but she's like a Red Grant from Russia With Love, David.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be class.
Yeah, I could see that.
Now again, no one's gonna make it, but I'll have it in my dreams, David, and I'll give it 5 stars, 2 thumbs up. I'll just wake up clapping.
You're just standing up clapping
Like,
as if you're at Cannes.
Yeah.
7 minutes,
7
baby.
minutes, baby. Yeah, what else do you want to say about that? It's just, fun time.
Solid watch.
Yeah.
I think the visuals, sorry, I forgot to even mention the visuals are incredible.
Yeah. Right, shall we get into the last movie of May, David?
Let's do
It's
it.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So this movie takes place 300 years after the last installment in the more recent Planet of the Apes franchise. War of the Planet of the Apes was the last one with Woody Harrelson. And it follows Noah, who is part of the bird tribe or the eagle tribe or whatever they're called, David. I can't remember. It was a while ago since I saw this. And all of a sudden then his tribe are sort of attacked and ambushed, and it is up to him to sort of try and find his way to where they have been taken and to rescue his tribe. It's very straightforward as that. It doesn't get too complicated, but it is a sort of a coming of age ape drama, I guess, in a way. But there's interactions, and throughout the movie then he meets people along the way, including a big orangutan whose name I forget, and a human, or what do they call them, echoes?
Echoes, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been 300 years since James Franco tried to cure Alzheimer's in The Rise of the Planet
You
of the
big
Apes.
dummy.
You idiot.
Raka.
What?
Raka
was the orangutan? Yeah. But yeah, what I look... Okay, so this movie is very, very simplistic, I find. It has some really interesting elements in it, though, regarding, like, colonialism and religion and such, because it's been 300 years since Caesar, played by Andy Serkis, was sort of led to the sort of ape rebellion on Earth and had the whole sort of testaments nearly in a way of, like, you know, apes strong together and don't kill no other apes. I think that's an exact...
That's exactly it.
Yeah, I think they said that in the movie. And
he was played by Ice Cube.
Yeah. And but it's funny to see how those words have been twisted, and how the sort of nearly how the ape sort of community's wrong word, what's the word, the ape population nearly has regressed and devolved nearly in a way, and how some of the apes nearly cling to the old fragments and artifacts of human existence to try to, you know, improve that sort of education and learning. But okay, so like I said, very simplistic in a way. It's quite long, and it does feel very much like the first chapter nearly in a bigger story. So from a narrative perspective, it doesn't feel like it covers a lot of ground, but what it does, I think, really well is it sets up this new character, Noah, which I think was always going to be the biggest hill for this movie to climb, because we had grown so close to Caesar. He was our ape buddy, David. We had this, and we have this brand new character and this brand new setting to sort of introduce, I guess. What else was fantastic about it is the visuals are epic, not only in regards to the cinematography, but also the actual VFX. They are seamless at this point now. You kind of forget you're watching two CGI monkeys at times, and like they did do a lot of stuff on set with regards to some of the
on location
stuff. Some stuff obviously they couldn't do a run downtown unless they wanted to go somewhere in fucking Antrim, David. But what? I don't know. I was trying to pick somewhere in Ireland. It's a shithole.
Oh, right, okay.
But I was thinking, so they obviously couldn't do that. But I think some of this, and the visual effects are so good now in regards to especially the motion capture, because you're able to get a lot of the performance through the sort of the CGI and the human performance as well. It's definitely nuanced and adds some elements that we hadn't seen before. That's quite good. And and there's a villain introduced that, as you would agree, far too late into the movie. But Kevin Durant plays it. No,
not Kevin
Durant.
Not the basketball player.
Durant plays it, and he's fantastic at it. He's really, really good, very charismatic, and has a great quote in it that I'm a big fan of. So yeah, I definitely gave this a very high reviewing because I went to the press screening and I had the day off work, but also because I'm a big fan of this series, and I just had a fun time being back in the world. Yeah,
on the positive side, I think it does a really good job of creating that aspect of like the whole religion thing, and I kind of grasp onto that because it's something I'm interested in, how as time goes by, people can take words or take text and just almost manipulate it to their own means, or to manipulate people to do their willing and stuff. As you say, it's interesting that at the end of at the end of War for the Planet of the Apes, it seems like they're in a perfect situation where all the apes are together and they're gonna, you know, go and thrive as one individual community or one single community. But it's interesting to see now that there's these different branches, and you have people groups that just want to keep to themselves, or just, you know, simple farmers or stuff like that. They're just going to look after themselves. And then there's the more kind of manipulative side, where you have the likes of a leader or a dominant leader that just
played by Kevin Durant, not the basketball player.
Not the basketball player. Who kind of overlooks everyone and is like a king almost among the his people.
And I know he's not a basketball player, but it's still a slam dunk of a performance, David.
I really enjoyed the fact that they kind of got a lot of, I wouldn't say unknown actors, but definitely like smaller, like there wasn't any huge big names, like for example an Andy Serkis or the guy who played the bad guy, what was his name again, from Fan Four Stick.
Oh, that's so annoying. I could Google it, but I want to prove I know the most about movies.
Mark, what's his name?
He plays Doctor Doom, doesn't he?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I know. But if I don't know David, no one else knows because I know the most about movies.
So the main guy who plays Noah.
Toby
Kebbell.
Toby Kebbell.
Owen T. I really liked him. He's new to me. I know he was in some.
He was the kid from the It movies.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't recognize him. That was he was also in To Leslie. But I really enjoyed his performance. Again, as you mentioned, the visual effects has kind of gotten to this stage where we're getting the human emotion coming across on screen. I really like Freya Allen as well. Her interactions with not only Noah but the rest of the apes, I think, was really good. And then she almost has another, what would you say?
Another layer to her.
Yeah. That she has another mission that she needs to succeed in. But the biggest thing for me, the biggest issue I had with the movie is it seemed a little bit, again, derivative of War for the Planet of the Apes. You know, you have one ape, he's just trying to save his community who have been kind of taken by bad guys. But again, I think you'll have a good time just watching what's on screen, never mind. And I think there is a number of really good performances. Raka as well is a really good performance from, I want to get this name right, Peter Macon. I haven't actually I didn't recognize him from anything, but really good performance from him. Again, he kind of gets us sped up and up to date on what's kind of gone on and what's well known within the society and what's not known and what's going on between, say, the humans versus the apes and stuff like that. So really good performance.
Because just to jump on that as well, which is, that's what I kind of liked about this movie in regards to it moving forward in the franchise. And like, I don't love when movies are basically there to set up another movie, but I just think it to re-immerse us in, like, I feel like if you tried to tell the story at the end of this movie straight from War, it might have been a bit jarring. I don't know, maybe there was a better way of doing it, but I just think the world, I'm so excited to know more about this world and how different sort of elements have fallen into place. And especially the movie has a great sort of question or sort of conflict throughout it, which is like, who does the Earth belong to now? Because obviously the humans had it, and there's obviously a pocket of humans that, you know, look as if they might be able to what's the word?
Re-inhabit?
Re-inhabit the Earth. But then again, the apes are the ones with all the sort of they're the largest population now, and they have the higher intelligence generally. So like, you know, who does the Earth belong to? I think that's an interesting sort of way this movie is sort of pitched sort of the franchise going forward, which I find quite interesting.
And do you see, I don't want to go into too many spoilers, but let's say if you take Noah as the main ape and Frey Allen's character as
Nova,
we'll say Nova, as the main kind of human, do you see them kind of pitted against each other?
I like it though, because do you know what sounds weird? Is that I kind of get a bit of sexual tension between those two there.
Nice.
I think they want to F. They want to F hard, David.
Fun?
They want to fun together, big time. They want to fun all night long, David.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you want to I get that vibe between them, no?
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But
you remember even Charlton Heston was shifting monkeys back in 1969.
Good for him.
Yeah. Did it before the best of us, David.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I don't know, but like, it'd be interesting because there's obviously that sort of connection between the two of them, but then also if they morally are on two different sides of the argument, I think that could be interesting.
I feel like they will cross paths again, I assume. But again, it's hard to know.
It's gonna go ape shit, David.
Did this movie do well financially?
I think it's about to cross the $100 million mark. I don't know how much it was made for, but you'd have to think, like, I see like you kind of mentioned, they definitely saved money on the old, cast, because it didn't, I guess, require anything like that. But the budget was only 160, which doesn't seem like a lot for a movie that's predominantly CGI. And then in regards to how much it makes, so it'd have to make like 320, I guess, let's say, and it's so far made worldwide, it's made 330, so it's already kind of made its money back. So I don't know, will they give it 160 million dollars again? Who's to say? But I hope so.
Yeah, fair. Sorry, the last thing I just want to mention, the director. Do you have it there?
Yeah, there is one. His name was Wes Ball, someone I was very critical of before this began.
Yes, we do remember it. I do remember this.
He's done the Maze Runner movies, and funny enough, he's also pitched to do the Legend of Zelda movie for Nintendo.
Interesting.
So I didn't have a lot of faith going in. Now I haven't seen the Maze Runner movies, David, but I can tell they're balls.
They're fine.
I bet you they're fine. But I reckon as Mr. Movies, David, they're balls.
Golden Balls?
What?
Golden Balls.
What do you mean, like the show Golden Balls?
No, they're just good.
Oh, no, I said they're balls, as in they're balls move. They're Wes Balls movies, David. What did you think I meant?
Yeah, you're so confusing.
Dave, I'm a bit of a kooky character at times. Right. But yeah, so my favourite movie that bunch, it's probably Furiosa, if I'm honest.
No, I love Lies Being.
There you go. Right, shall we talk about what's coming out in June, David?
Let's do it.
Now, I don't have that part of my notes ready to go, but I have some movies that are coming out, and we can just briefly go through them and tell me what you're excited for. Bad Boys Ride or Die, David. Cool. Will audiences still like Will Smith, even though he got up and smacked Chris Rock?
Don't really care.
I had a fun time with the last one.
The last one was fine, but I mean, like, it's give me another Jump Street movie.
I'll get on the phone.
Actually, no, sorry.
Tom? I think Tom Cruise isn't there anymore.
I feel like I had more of enjoyment from something like that.
Yeah.
They're
not doing any harm.
Yeah, I suppose. But I don't really care.
Fair. Okay.
Although, I will see.
What about The Watched? It's got M. Night Shyamalan's daughters directing it, I think, and it's got your one from The Equalizer 3 in it.
Sold.
What's her name?
Dakota Fanning.
Yeah.
That seems she's making a bit of a resurgence.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Inside Out 2, David, they're back again with more emotions than ever before.
Pixar, do something original.
Yeah, did you see they came out recently and they were like, we might do Finding Nemo 3. I'm just like,
is he not found?
Yeah, why are you still looking? This guy's got to stop getting lost.
Yeah, they just need to do an original thing. And I know Inside
Out
wasn't original.
They've tried. Pixar have kind of been floundering the last while.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I enjoyed Inside Out 1, but
this has got Io Adebari in it, David.
Yeah.
It's got the guy
Ireland's Own.
It's got Paul
Mescal?
No, it's got the other guy. The guy from Richard Jewell.
I know who you're talking about, yeah.
Him. It's got a good cast.
It could be good, and it probably will be good, but it's just...
They did bin, what's his face, Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling from it.
Why?
They wanted a lot of money.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
To do a job.
Yeah. So they're gone. But look, yeah, I might see it. I'll probably
I do know
will I see it in cinemas?
I do know someone who is like a big fan of the first one, but I don't know.
Are they going to go see it?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
No, it's just, I don't know if anyone is as big on it as him.
The Bike Riders, David. This is getting a lot of press. It's Austin Butler, Tom Hardy,
Jodie Comer. Jodie
Where's
Comer
she been?
Is the best actress working today.
What?
Yes.
That's incorrect, but okay.
Who do you think it is? Do you remember her in The Last Duel? Incredible.
Yeah. I also remember her in Free Guy.
Yeah, she was fine in Free Guy.
Okay.
She needs to make her money somehow.
Okay.
Ridley Scott's
What
not
else is
paying
she good in?
She's in...
Are you basing that statement about her being the best actress working today from one movie that we liked and no one else?
In Killing Eve.
Okay.
She also does a great Liverpool accent. I know she's from Liverpool, but she does a great Liverpool accent.
Okay, so she speaks well. Sorry, I've written Jodie Foster by mistake, and that's my answer. You see her diet? My answer is Lashana Lynch.
Okay.
Yeah, see, we can all say stupid things.
Yeah,
I'm a bit of a kooky character.
I would. What I should have said is she's very underrated.
I don't think she's underrated. I just think
she doesn't get enough work.
This is what I mean. Where the fuck has she been?
Yeah, I know, but she's not getting enough work. She does act on stage as well, I think.
Yeah, she had a one-woman show. I can't log down the letterbox. You actually can't log it on the letterbox, but I'm not gonna.
You can?
Yeah, you can watch the recording or something like that. And
cool.
Like it. What else we got here? We got.
I'm looking for. I'm interested to see, but again, it could be very generic.
Yeah. Who's the director?
Mike Newell or Mike. Mike.
Mike check.
What's his name? Mike.
Sorry. What's the name of the movie? The Bike Riders.
Bike Riders.
Whoops.
Mike something.
Jeff Nichols.
Fuck.
Who did Mud.
Yeah, okay.
And he did Midnight Special and he did Take Shelter.
I've seen Midnight Special.
Yeah. I don't know. It's got Mike Faced in it.
Mike Faust.
Faced.
You talking about Challenger today?
Yeah, Challengers dude.
Okay,
He's in it. Michael Shannon's in it.
Yeah.
Norman Reedus.
It could be good.
Yeah, who knows? What else we got here? We also got The Hitman with Glenn Powell.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
It looks like a fun time. It's getting very, very good.
I was thinking about Mike Newell, who did 4 weddings and a funeral. Imagine that as the bike riders. He also did. He also did Donnie Brasco.
Oh, there we go. And that's why we were doing that voice, ladies and gentlemen, for that one reference.
Sorry,
Hitman.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Kinds of Kindness.
Is that coming out summer?
Apparently, it's coming out in June, according to my sources.
Interesting. I would have thought that would come out in November or December or something.
Right, let me write Kinds of Kindness in the
I'm not too.
Kinds of Kindness, release date 28th of June.
Cool.
3 stories revolve around a man who tries to take control of his own life, a policeman whose wife seems like a different person, and a woman who searches for someone with a special ability. It's got a stacked cast. It's got Emma Stone. It's got the subject matter of Taylor Swift's album, Joe Alwyn. It's got Margaret Qualley, Hunter Schafer, Jesse Plemons, William Dafoe. Keke Palmer apparently is in it, but this is by Google and they add anyone to any movie, so who knows if that's right. Look, it's what's his face? It's the guy Yorgos Lanthimos' latest movie.
Very interesting to see that he's gone straight onto another film.
So this got made before the press tour or the awards tour for Poor Things. Yeah. So this has been in the can for ages.
So he's just been like waiting for it.
So like when was this made? Oh my god, that's a lot of words. When this was it was originally called And
A&D.
Yeah, stupid. Filming took place between October 24th and December 16th, 2022.
Whoa.
So yeah, it's been in the can for a while. And it also premiered at Cannes. So words are fun. What else we got? We also got we got A Quiet Place. Day 1 apparently is coming out as well.
Yeah, this could go either way. Not John Krasinski isn't directing, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think so. He's too busy with imaginary movies.
It's not the same cast, it's a different cast, which again, we'll see. So,
look, here's my
It also looked more like, I feel like this is what happened between Alien and Aliens. This could be like Aliens, but I'd like to see more action characters.
Yeah, so it's the director of Pig, which we love.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. But my problem is
this their first big break?
I think so, yeah. His name is Mike. I
told you it was
Mike. Michael Sarnowski. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. The trailers look fine, but why I want this to do well is not for the Quiet Place franchise. I want it to do well for Lupita Nyong'o. She's unbelievable, and she's
maybe she's the best actress.
She could be the best actress. We should do that. We should find out who the best actress is.
Hey Tom,
you out there? But no, she's not been in anything really massive since Us.
Wouldn't even say that was massive.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, she's unbelievable. She's an unbelievable actress, and I like seeing her get a big break like this. Big Hollywood blockbuster is what we've kind of been calling out for, I guess, for actors like Lupita Nyong'o. But I just fear it won't do well.
Yeah,
and it's got Joseph Quinn, the Human Torch.
Oh, nice.
Flame on.
Is that it?
That's it. Well, there's also there's Horizon, that movie that Kevin Costner made with his own money. But who cares about that?
Nah, bin.
So that's about it, David.
Sounds good.
That's the main movie recap, David.
So that's June.
That's June. Nothing super flashy.
No.
What'll make the most money there? Probably Inside Out 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing else is going to make money there.
Huh? Kids make money.
They do make money. They should make money. You're notoriously against child labour laws.
Like, what?
You're against them. You're like, there should be none.
Sorry, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Very true. Get them kids working.
Yeah. But yeah.
Or get them in the cinema.
Yeah, one or the other. We're like the Rishi Sunak of movies. We're like, they can either do military service
or go to the
cinema every weekend to support the movie industry.
Yeah.
We should run for, the way the mayors, this is where the podcast gets a bit unhinged, but we should do that thing, you know when the UK politicians are always like Mr. Binhead or something like that?
Yeah.
What about me, Mr. Movies?
Yeah, why not?
I told you about the movie I'm making. It's a Mrs. Doubtfire fan fiction.
Nice.
But what we do is, instead of one person in drag, it's two people in drag. Yeah. It's going to be great.
And Pierce Brosnan's in it?
David, he is the star in it. Because Robert Williams has sadly passed, R.I.P. So Pierce Brosnan has to take on the mantle because he now has to find a new way to get with his kids. And he has, he's hired someone else.
Is he with Robin Williams? He's with someone else?
So the other way, at the end of the movie, spoilers from Mrs. Doubtfire from 1995. So the other way it's a fan fiction. All my fan fiction is about Pierce Brosnan. So it's about all the kids have grown up.
Yeah.
But they've got kids of their own.
Ah, okay.
And he due to some circumstance that I won't spoil, definitely not because I haven't thought about it, has to get into drag and go help the kids. And who is he with, David? Who is this person? Because it's a sequel, so it has to be two. Yeah. Am I stalling for time for a funny joke, David? It's Meryl Streep. It's a Mamma Mia reunion. And she's
also...
Yeah, so she pretends to be a man and he pretends to be a lady, and it's like a buddy comedy, but he needs to be close to his grandkids because of the unfortunate incident.
It could work.
I think so. It's 500 pages long. and I am in the movie. I play
one of the kids.
I don't play one of the kids, David. I play, what's my fun cameo? I play you know the way sometimes you know the way this is unhinged. You know the way Robin Williams' character was like part of a TV network? Yeah. Well, I work on the TV network and I'm like the talk show host. And then I turn to like Pierce Brosnan's character, who's like a famous architect, but he's on a talk show, and he goes, I'll tell you a joke, and he shoots me in the face like Joker.
Wow.
Yeah, it takes a dark turn on page 200.
I can't wait for this.
David, it's coming together really nicely. And speaking of coming together,
I'd like to give you $200 million.
Sold. Right, David, thanks again.
This has been Loose.
David. Thanks so much for coming back and recording these. As always, I very much appreciate it. And to the listeners for listening to this, do let us know what you watched the other day, and if you're excited, what movies you're excited for June 2024. You can keep up to date with the podcast with that reading of the peers on Instagram. There's also the TikTok, the YouTube, and make sure to follow us on Letterboxd. We're there.
Please.
And you can contact the podcast at readingofthepeers@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe so you know when new episodes are coming out, because they're usually once a month, but sometimes I sneak in another one. You won't know until you subscribe. And take it easy. And also, if you have any feedback on the Mrs. Doubtfire fanfiction, do let me know. But I am a bitch for feedback, and I will not take it on board.
2 doubts, 2 fire.
Yes.